And then he walked over to the counter. You know the counter that you can sort of lean on and write the checks or make your next appointment for little Johnny, right? And he leaned on it about this high, and he thought to himself, why is it way up here? And then he remembered, oh, right. The nurse on the other side of the counter, she had to be able to get the telephone. She had to be able to look in the medical records. She had to be able to get the credit card filing machine. She had to be able to get all these different things to do her work. And so it was easier if she was standing up. So they built the counter up at this high. But as he was standing on this side, he thought, well, I wonder what it looks like from my little customer's point of view. He looked around. Nobody else was around to see him. So he took a moment, got down on his knees, and looked and realized he was staring straight at the wall. And then he looked up. Oh, he got the shock of his life because there was bubble gum all stuck up underneath. Oh, my goodness gracious. And he realized this is what it looks like from my customer's point of view. And then he walked back to the area where he actually worked on the kid's mouth. You know, and there was the chair. You know what I'm talking about. Remember that chair? The one that you would go sit in, and then the doctor would press the button, and the chair would go, and the white mask would be getting closer and closer and closer. I still get sweat pouring down my back every time I think about that chair. Yeah! And he sat, and he thought, and he said, my goodness, who in the world arranged this? Why would there be a chair like this from my customer's point of view? Not at all. From his point of view, it would be easier, more convenient, just push a button and bring the young patient up. Otherwise, he'd have to go moving down. And he thought to himself, golly, my business, no wonder I'm not making more money. This whole place has been engineered from other people's point of view. Nobody ever took my little customer into account. And he decided to take action. Closed the shop for 3 weeks. Brought in an interior decorator, a remodeling specialist. Sent them to the same seminar to learn about seeing the world from the customer's point of view, and they completely redid the office. 3 weeks later, they opened the doors, great fanfare in the newspaper, and now you go up to the place and you look at the sign. And in big bright letters, it doesn't say Dr. John's Pediatric Dental Clinic. It says, The Kid's Mouth. And at the end is a logo that goes, ah! They're all bright and shiny. The door is bright red. The door handle, when you reach for it, it's not here, it's down here. It's not round. It's yellow plastic, this long. All the children have to do is lean on it, and poof, the door opens right up. The door opens inside to what? It's a playground inside. You've got balls and trucks and crayons. And over there in the corner is a thick rug, nicely upholstered area with all the magazines for the parents. And you know what? Johnny never says, Mommy, Mommy, go back to your corner. And you move on over to that counter. You remember, the one where you write the checks? It's not here anymore. It's right down here. And there are 2 chairs on either side for the parents to be able to sit so they can go ahead and write the check. But hey, what about the nurse? She still has to be able to get the credit card and the phone and the medical records and the agenda. Well, she can, because there's a chair for her too. But her chair has wheels, so she can move around. But maybe the biggest and most personally appealing change for Dr. John was in his own dentistry office, right there where he works on the kid's mouth. Because that chair doesn't move anymore. They bolted it right to the ground. One stable position. But then, what about Dr. John? He still has to get down there to work with the kid. Hey, have you been to a Japanese restaurant? You know those low tables? What do they do for your legs? There's a hole under there where your legs can drop down. So what did they do? They took a shovel, they dug a hole underneath the table, and now Dr. John goes down, and he works on the kid, and he gets back up, and he goes back down, and he works on the kid, and he gets back up. And it's better for Dr. John's health anyway, and the children are a whole lot happier than having to take that terrifying ride on the chair. Of course, the mask still comes close, but now it's not a plain white mask anymore. What do you think's on the mask? Mickey Mouse. And hanging down from the ceiling, what do we got? All the Disney characters. And there's music playing, and the whole place is geared for children, as it should be, from the customer's point of view. What do you think happened to Dr. John's business? That's right. Boom! In fact, Dr. John doesn't really practice pediatric dentistry anymore. He spends most of his time just playing golf. Why? Well, the business was such a good idea, he franchised it. And today there are 12 The Kid's Mouth throughout southern Canada, and Dr. John is a very happy person playing golf because he took the time and took the point seriously, seeing the world from the customer's point of view. And that's a critical point also for you to remember. Because the world from your customer's point of view doesn't look the same as the world does from your point of view.